Title is Inequalities, and we're going to be looking at how to identify inequalities and find all possible integer values. Equipment required for this lesson: pen and paper and pencil. Okay, so these are all the inequality signs that we're going to be looking at. Okay, I'd like you to pause the video and copy these out, please. Okay, now we know this is the equal sign, and that means the same as. This here is the greater than sign, okay, and it means greater than. Here we've got greater than or equal to, and it means greater than or equal to, and so on. So this sign here means less than, and this sign here means less than or equal to. Copy these out, please, as we will be using them throughout this video. Okay, so looking at inequalities. All right, first statement at the top, x is greater than 4. I know that this inequality represents this information because this sign here means greater than. Okay, from the previous slide we saw that what each inequality means. I know that inequality means greater than. So what does that mean then? If x is greater than 4, that means it can be any number above 4. So it can be 5, it can be 6, it can be 7, and so on. X can be any number which is greater than 4, because any number greater than 4 satisfies that inequality. Next one, x is greater than or equal to 3. Alright, x is greater than or equal to 3. So what does that mean? It means x can be 3 as well, because it's greater than or equal to, and because it's greater than, we can just carry on going. So it could be 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Okay, so x can be any number which is equal to 3 and then above it. Okay, we're going to be looking at reading inequalities. Now, the important thing to remember is if I have, let's say 7 is less than n. Now, when you are writing out inequalities, okay, it's important that you make the letter the subject. So rather than having 7 is less than n, I need to have n is greater than or less than or greater than or equal to. It has to be the letter is. So n is. For this case, if I was to look at this inequality the other way around, so n something 7, well, I can see that if I look at it that way, it would be n is greater than 7. So if I was to write this inequality out the other way around, I would write it as n is greater than 7. Okay, now if I was to write that out in words, I would get n is and greater than 7. Okay, which is what I want. I always want n is. So whatever the letter is, that's what your inequality statement should start with. We know that 6 is less than 8 is the same as 8 is greater than 6. We've just focused on that by looking over here when we flip the inequality the other way around. So the sign changes. Now, n is greater than 9. Alright, now how would I write that? I would write it as n is greater than 9. Again, my focus being the letter. I've wrote n is, and then I wrote whatever the statement needs me to write. So n is greater than 9. Again, if I was to flip this inequality the other way around, it would be 9 is less than n. Okay, so if I'm looking at it the other way around, 9 is less than n. Next statement. Now, if I was to read this statement, but just from looking at it, it says 4 is less than or equal to n. But when we're writing statements, we need to get n is. Alright, so I'm going to flip this inequality around. So I will get n is greater than or equal to 4. Okay, so n is greater than or equal to 4. And now, last one. Minus 2 is less than or equal to n, which is less than or equal to 1. So minus 2 is less than or equal to n, and n is less than or equal to 1. Now how would I write this out as a statement? Again, focusing on n, I need to get n as my main factor in this statement. So n is, how would I write that out? Now, minus 2 is less than or equal to n. So if I flip that one around, n is greater than or equal to minus 2. Okay, but we also know n is less than or equal to 1. So focusing only on n, we write n is greater than or equal to minus 2, but less than or equal to 1. Okay, it's all on focusing on the inequality signs, and if we was to focus on the letter, what it would represent. Whereas here it says n minus 2 is less than or equal to n. We want n to be the focus, so n is greater than or equal to minus 2. Okay, I now want you to pause this video and have a go at them 3 questions below. Once you are done, resume the video and the answers will come up. Okay, so the statement says n is less than or equal to 5. So you should have written out the statement as n is less than or equal to 5. If you needed to flip it around, you would have 5 is greater than or equal to n. Next, you have 7 is greater than or equal to 9, but we want to make the statement n is, so the focus is on the letter, so n is less than or equal to 7. So this statement the other way round. Okay, so you should have had n is less than or equal to 7. And then the last statement, okay, 4 is less than or equal to n, less than 7. Well, n is greater than or equal to 4, but it is less than 7. Okay, I want you to make sure you've got all these examples copied out, as they will help you with the main tasks. Okay, and now I want you to have a go at these questions on your own. If you're in set 4 and 5, I'd like you to make sure you do the red section. All you need to do is put the correct inequality sign in between the numbers. If you're in set 4, I want you to make sure you do the mastered section. Okay, and if you're in set 5 and you want to challenge yourselves, have a go at the mastered section 2. The link for this activity, this quiz, is on class charts. So go to your class charts homework and click the link. It will take you to a site, word wall, which you then put your name into and then complete the quiz. Once you have completed the quiz, you will need to take a picture of the quiz score and upload that onto class charts, as well as the picture of the red section. If you get stuck, you can always rewind this video.